Hi, little falcons. Welcome back. Did you listen to Miss Jae read this book today called An Elephant Grows Up? We're going to write about what we learned today. Our objective is I can write at least 3 facts I learned about elephants. So we're going to use what we learned from Miss Jae, and we're going to first draw a picture of an elephant, and then we're going to write 3 sentences. Actually, I'm going to write one with you, and then you're going to try 2 sentences or more all by yourself. Okay, so let's start drawing our elephant here. Okay, so we learned that, we're going to start with the elephant's head. Here we got an elephant's head here. And we learned that elephants have a trunk, and they use that trunk to drink water. They scoop up the water, and they spray it in their mouth. So there we're going to draw a trunk here. And remember, we just have to be ish. We don't have to be perfect, do we? Ms Schmitz is never perfect. Okay? Then we also learned that elephants have big ears. Do you remember what those elephants do with big ears? They use them to cool themselves off. Sometimes I wish I had big ears when I get hot. Okay? And then we learned that elephants have a big body. And when they're born, they're heavier than a refrigerator. Isn't that amazing? They are heavier than a refrigerator as babies. Okay? Then we learned that they have 4 legs. And even though they have huge feet, they very rarely make footprints. And when they walk, you can't hear them. Isn't that amazing that an animal so big can't be heard when they walk? Okay, then we have to add its tail. And we learned that elephants, when they're born, they have fur all over their body, but as they get older, the fur goes off, and the only place that still has hair is the ends of their little elephant tail. Okay, and then we have to add some eyes here. And we learned that elephants have tusks, and they use those tusks to dig in the dirt or the water, or they dig in the dirt to find water. They also use those tusks sometimes to carry their big heavy trunk, and they also use those tusks to scrape bark off trees, and sometimes they even have to use it as weapons when they have to fight, when they have to protect their babies from other animals. Okay, so let's label our parts of an elephant. We have hair on the tail, hair on the end of their tail. They have big, long feet, and we know that E to E say eat. We have ears, and we have a trunk. Do you remember what blend says tur? T-R. Tur, trunk. So those are the parts of the elephant. Now, let's think about everything we've learned about elephants. What could we say? We can write about their trunk. That's the longest longest nose of any animal. We can write about its ears, or its tail, or its feet. So what do we want to start with on our facts about an elephant? Now, our book said that elephants live in Africa and Asia, and all of the elephants we read in our book were from Africa, weren't they? So should we start with wild elephants live in Africa and Asia? That would be a good sentence. So let's start with the word elephants, and we can look up here in our objective, and we know that a sentence starts with a capital letter, so let's start with the capital letter. Elephants. Remember that PH says elephants live. That's one of the words that we know, so we can just write it down because it's already in our brain. We don't need to sound that one out. Live. We're going to leave a space and write in. Elephants live in Africa and Asia. In. In's on our word wall, so we just write that because that's in our brain. Live in Africa. So if we look on our map, we know that we have to start Africa with a capital A because that's the name of a place. Africa. And that's a word we know. Asia. And again, Asia is a name of a place. We have to put a capital letter. Asia. And then what do we have to put at the end of our sentence? A period. So let's go back and read what we wrote. Elephants live in Africa and Asia. Now if we go back here and look at our objective, it says I can write at least 3 facts I learned about elephants. So I got you started and we wrote 1 fact. Now I want you to think about what you learned about the ears, the trunk, the feet, the hair, and I want you to come up with 2 more sentences about elephants. When you're done, I would like you to share them with me. You can message it to me. You can send it to my email, and here is my email. Jenny Schmitz at k12.sd.us, and you can email me what you wrote, or you can snap a picture and message it to me, or put it in the comments, because I'd really like to see what you drew and what you came up with about elephants. So thank you, little falcons. Remember, never stop learning and always wash your hands. Bye.